This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Even at the best of times, many of us can forget to prioritize our mental health. That's why we wholeheartedly recommend BetterHelp. It's an online therapeutic resource that will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional counselor, all from the comfort of your home. To get started, head to betterhelp.com/cinemasins, answer a few questions about your state of mind, and before you know it, you'll be matched with a counselor who will work with you. Oh yeah, and you also get 10% off your first month when you click that link below. Now, on to the show. Are they just sitting around Disney trying to figure out ways to make sitting through 45 seconds of logos even more painful? We're already tormenting the eyes. Why not use a middle school band to destroy the ears as well? Also, in real life, no band would ever learn to play the Disney theme, because a team of lawyers would immediately appear out of thin air to sue every child in the room. The sheet music written on this chalkboard is wildly inefficient. A, it only covers the first two lines of the song, and B, it skips the bass notes entirely. So good luck if you plan to include your tuba and cello players. No wonder these kids suck. If the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth saxophones aren't cutting it, I doubt sax the sixth is going to save the day. Would it kill you to throw in some French horns?
Rachel, now you!
Forgot my socks, Mr. G.
Is he only noticing this now? Surely this would have come up, I don't know, immediately? Also, how is Rachel taking a nap during all this? I wake up if I feel the vibration of the air change. Book fairs were the biggest lie our teachers ever pulled on us. Fairs are for corn dogs, tilt-a-whirls, and washed-up rock artists, not literature.
Welcome to the MS-70 family, Joe. Permanently.
I feel like you only deliver good news in this tone and with this emphasis if your intention is to let the audience know that the recipient isn't actually happy about said good news.
How you been, Mr. G? It's Curly.
Bald guy named Curly cliche.
Listen, you can call me Joe now, Curly. I'm not your teacher anymore. Okay, Mr. Gardner.
So he's been doing this for so long that he has students old enough to offer him gigs, but he doesn't want to take a full-time job doing what he's already been doing for years?
Wow. I would die a happy man if I could perform with Dorothea Williams.
Wow, that sure would be a dark direction to take this story, but this is a kid's movie, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Also, movie uses this tortured artist gets his big break bit to build tension. But the truth is, Joe could be excited about getting full-time benefits and the opportunity to play with Dorothea Williams. 29% interest on a car loan? I know this is New York, but my God, that's a sin. LSD. I really wish I could play some of this music for you because it's absolutely astonishing. I know I'm supposed to be adding sins, but this music is too good not to remove a sin to settle the score.
You got a suit? Get a suit, Teach. A good suit.
Maybe you didn't hear the part where he said he teaches middle school band. Joe survives this, and this, and this, and this, and... oh... Also, sure, Joe's oblivious to this near-death montage, but the majority of the sin here is on the assholes in every case who have either insufficiently blocked off the danger zone or don't try to stop him.
I'm Joe Gardner. Look, I'm not supposed to be here.
Are you really telling me a fedora is so essential to his being that he even has one when he dies? Who is this guy, Jason Mraz?
You see, Joe, I'm 106 years old. Been waiting a long time for this.
For what?
The Great Beyond.
The Great Beyond requires some sort of an escalator to take you there rather than just sending you there in the first place, allowing the movie to happen, which is fine. I love this movie, but I hate escalators. Also, why is the moving sidewalk of eternity so completely empty when Joe lands, but then an absolute madhouse later? Also, it somehow allows souls to turn around and walk down, which is a design flaw unbecoming of the afterlife. Writers choose Walrus and not Mahaha, the mythical Inuit demon that tickles its victims to death. Also, how is he the only one freaking out right now? Surely there are other sudden deaths that have happened in the last few minutes.
I'm not dying the very day I got my shot. I'm due. Heck, I'm overdue.
I hear that, Joe. Last time I blew my shot, my girlfriend ended up being overdue as well.
I'm not dying today. Not when my life just started.
This is Joe's reaction after receiving definitive proof of an afterlife. I mean, maybe this reaction makes sense if he got inside and found out it was a Machine Gun Kelly concert full of bros drinking IPAs. I get it, not your scene, but you're telling me he is not the least bit curious?
What was that?
Wow, going to the Great Beyond sounds a lot like watching mosquitoes and moths zap the shit out of themselves. They're just trying to follow the light too.
Why aren't you running?
Why aren't these people running? Why are they all okay being launched into a giant mosquito zapper in space? I know this lady said.
Must have been sudden for you.
But what difference does that make? Aren't most deaths essentially sudden? None of these souls look particularly old, so why did they get a briefing and Joe didn't? Also, where are all the animals? Because I know for a fact that all dogs go to heaven. I see the Afterlife found a bargain on whatever fabric this is that allows Joe to just tear through it. Man, Pixar standards have gone to shit. They just stuck an animatic in the middle of this movie and pretended like we wouldn't notice.
Appearing in a form your feeble human brain can comprehend.
So does Soul Joe have his human brain? Surely he left that behind on Earth. Man, if I'm stuck in this same brain after I die, the great beyond can suck it.
We call it the U Seminar now. Rebranding.
The movie believes these quantum time-space cloud people would in any way be concerned with marketing strategy. And here's another sin for making me say marketing strategy.
Not yet. Your body's in a holding pattern. It's complicated. I'll get you back to your group.
If my parents don't accept it's complicated as a reason for why I'm still living in their basement, you're damn right I'm not going to accept it as a reason for this bull. Forcibly placing someone on your butt hand without explicit consent. Afterlife depends on a guy with an abacus to count souls and makes him watch from this far away to count them. That is a sea of blue souls blending in down there. How do you count this shit? Also, why is this advanced being using such rudimentary technology? Terry is being a real hipster and I'm still upset about them driving up the price of Pabst. Also, the row on this abacus is totally useless. Now, I'm not as frequent an abacuser as I once was, but surely for it to work, you need to be able to move the beads at least one space.
First stop is the Excitable Pavilion.
Skipping foreplay. If this mechanism knows Joel's soul isn't allowed on Earth, why does it wait until now to send him back? What a tease! And why wouldn't it just send him back to the Great Beyond Escalator? Using preschool souls to game the system. What in the Great Beyond is this name badge claiming system? Who is monitoring who takes which name? Why are there so many unclaimed? What is this madness? Also, they have a mentoring program? You mean people die and their souls become mentors? If that happened to my soul, I'd become a D-mentor.
Jerry will take it from here.
Thanks, Jerry. Head right on over there to Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Is everyone here named Jerry?
Soul Joe would be great at cinema sins. Also, the way I see it, either the Jerrys constitute one being, or God is a two-time heavyweight boxing champion with a steady stream of grill-based income.
The count's off!
I seriously doubt that. The count hasn't been off in centuries.
But in a place that doesn't age and has been around for thousands of years, is a couple centuries even a lot? A couple centuries there is probably like a couple months here. And honestly, if something goes wrong every couple of months, it shouldn't be a big surprise.
151,000 souls going to the Great Beyond every day. It's 105.2 souls per minute, Jerry. 1.75 souls per second.
Math.
I'm always counting. I'm counting right now. You blinked 5 times since I started talking. 6.
To me, Terry sounds like a Virgo. Why are you counting how many times someone is blinking? You have other things to do? If Terry is here investigating the lost soul, then who is back at the escalator counting souls? The intern? Also, when the people of Earth invented computers, these guys just thought, nah, we'll stick to 1 trillion filing cabinets and 1,000,000 billion abacuses, and they said our human brains were feeble.
Here at the U Seminar, all new souls are given unique and individual personalities.
Either video technology in the great before has not progressed past VHS, or they chose this aesthetic on purpose. Vaporwave is dead. Long live Vaporwave?
I'm a manipulative megalomaniac who's intensely opportunistic.
20 preemptive sins for whatever this kid does when they get to Earth, and 1 sin for Jerry playing that for laughs. They're matching a mentor with each soul, applauding as they come down from the audience, showing a clip from the mentor's life, and there is no way something this inefficient is getting through this many souls a day. How the omnipotent Jerrys don't realize that Dr. Borgenson looks nothing like Joe is baffling. We know that souls carry over at least some of their physical characteristics from their bodies on Earth. You know, this could have easily been avoided by having a badge monitor.
Marie Antoinette.
Nobody can help you. Nobody.
So in this timeline, Marie Antoinette is mentoring people, even though she basically told poor French people to go f cake or whatever.
Is there any way to show a different life in this place?
Apparently there is. Why would this console be here? Why is Joe's Hall of You featuring his lamest moments? The instructional expositional video used the word inspiring, and clipping toenails on the toilet is the best it could come up with? Or a monument to waiting for the washing machine? Sure, maybe there aren't a ton of top-notch Joe moments, but at the very least it shouldn't droop to below average Joe, right?
This is the moment where I fell in love with jazz.
Skip. Sure, this afterlife can make a soul's badge return to it any time it wants, but it can't figure out Joe needs to be on the escalator to the great beyond. Lighters exist in this dimension? What are the rules? Are there rules? You don't know.
Why do you sound like a middle-aged white lady?
I just use this voice because it annoys people.
That's Karenist. If this works, then the time I accidentally threw a basketball at Tamara's head during gym class in 6th grade, and she got so pissed that snot started pouring out of her nose, and she raged at me like a bull, she really should have been thanking me for giving her a spark, instead of trying to fight me in the locker room, right?
You're right, I can't smell. We can't taste either?
But if you can't taste or smell, how would anyone ever get a chef spark, or a sommelier, or that guy in our dorm who could identify us each by our flatulence? Also, they can't taste or smell, but they have no problem hearing, seeing, talking, and thinking because...
Pop in and lock in, windmills, settling my disputes with dance.
Step Up 4, Old Soul Edition.
Check this out. I have been messing with this team for decades.
And the Knicks lose another one!
Yeah, but 22 is messing with souls that are in the zone. This assumes that the Knicks ever get in the zone. The peace sign is a terrible shape for an anchor, and would be completely useless in the sand. It's almost like the movie is putting aesthetic themes over practicality.
I'm Moon Wind Star Dancer at your service. That's Wind Star Dreamer Moon, Dancer Star Wind Moon, and that's Dreamer Wind Dreamer Dreamer.
One sin for triggering a flashback to a music festival I attended in 2007 where my friend Jim picked me up from work assuring me that he had packed the car with all our supplies. 8 hours later, I learned that all our supplies consisted of an acoustic guitar, a box of Captain Crunch, and a tent without tent poles.
We've never connected an untethered soul back to its body before, but perhaps if we travel to a thin spot...
Don't forget to reverse the polarity and buffer the abacuses.
Anchors, away!
Aren't there a ton of souls they could reconnect down here that they're just leaving behind?
I'm in New York City on the corner of 14th and 7th.
Oh yeah, that's right up from Tonio.
I'm sure this very specific yet unnecessary reveal of the location of Moonwind's body on Earth won't ever come up again or be important in any way.
Close your eyes, breathe into your crown chakra.
But earlier you said you'd never done anything like this with an untethered body before, so how do you know the exact steps in detail?
I hear a heart monitor.
If Joe was in a coma, then why aren't there hundreds, maybe thousands of souls looking to get back to Earth? Don't you think the afterlife would wait to put a soul on an escalator if there was hope?
Doc, you gotta help me. That's my body, but I'm trapped.
Okay, if Joe meows like a cat when he talks, why can 22 understand him? 22 is operating with a human brain now, and thus should hear cat sound instead of English. In fact, there are a lot of things that they shouldn't be able to do as a cat or human if the soul is separate from the brain and the body. Yet the movie allows it anyway because of creative license, and nobody gives a shit, Jeremy.
Then why am I in a cat?
I don't know!
Apparently the screenwriters don't know either. How does a human soul knock a cat soul out of its body? How does it send the cat soul to the human soul escalator?
Yeah, that's Chelsea near Jackson Square Park.
Exactly. Wait, how do you know all that?
It's all in this stupid brain of yours.
In literally the next scene, 22 is bewildered by pedestrian traffic in New York City, so you have access to memories containing locations and landmarks, but not the ones about a pretty standard day in New York. I hope that viral subway rat sues Disney for everything they're worth. Everything! It's so surreal that later, this guy becomes the Joker.
We gotta hail a cab. Hold your hand out. Hold it up and out. This would be hard even if I wasn't wearing a hospital gown.
I've heard the black guy can't get a cab in New York joke so many times that I'm convinced this is a serious problem. That's not a sin for the movie, but it is like a million sins for New York. Seriously, New York, get your shit together. Okay, so if this was anywhere near the club, the unfortunate run-in with Dorothea the Explorer would make sense. But some random club in a completely different place? Man, this movie really wants to pile more conflict on poor Joe, and the man's dead already.
Dorothea freaked out when she saw you, and she called this other guy Robert.
Without even seeking an explanation? Look, I've known enough artists to know they put up with a lot of nonsense to work with great talent. This is basically just a typical afternoon for most jazz musicians.
I came to tell you that I quit.
Quit?
Oh, we don't have time for this.
Really? We don't have time for this? That's all Joe has to say about one of his students quitting jazz? Should we be rooting for Joe at all? Because he's coming off like a selfish jazz hole at every opportunity. Shower nozzles with only 6 holes.
U5 will be insecure, and U12 will be self-absorbed.
We really should stop sending so many through that pavilion.
You should, but you didn't. And now we have social media.
Joe Gardner is his name. Looks like he's back down on Earth.
That's not good.
That's the mentor we set up with 22.
Wait, so if the Jerrys are aware that Joe is 22's mentor and not Bjorn Borgensen, then why the whole ruse? At this point, the only one out of the loop is Terry. So one sin for lying to Terry, and another one for not telling us what happened to Bjorn Borgensen.
This won't be a disaster. That's for sure.
Character says things will be fine because we all know things will not be fine, cliché.
Oh, my Lord. You gotta wait, son. This is an emergency.
I mean, is it? You're kicking out a guy with an actual appointment, man. I've called the Better Business Bureau for less.
You are not all that. Anyone could play in a band if they wanted to.
Did this man come back inside just to hate some more? My kind of guy.
Hey, I made a song! I'm jazzing!
Careful, you keep jazzing everywhere like that and it'll fall off.
Your mama's in the back.
What'd you say about my mama?
You can't eat dreams for breakfast, Joey.
Bacon deniers.
Mr. Mittens!
F*** you, movie. The odds of Joe Cat bumping into this woman in the middle of New York scatting city at this exact moment are astro-jazzing-nomical. Hey, movie, did I not properly articulate my outrage in the last sin? What the hell is Terry's plan here? Just wait and hope that out of the 472 subway entrances in New York City, Joe and 22 would walk into this exact one? How long has he been waiting here? I don't know what pisses me off more, the fact that this is his plan or that it f***ing works. But why did Terry bring him back to the U seminar instead of sending him directly to the auto walk to the great beyond?
22 got her pass?
But what filled in the last box?
It's kind of f***ed up how the Earth Pass doesn't tell you all the traits that make it up, especially since they show every little detail before they get filled in. You can't press a button and find out? Can you swipe right? If you can't throw the incomplete Earth Pass away, as demonstrated earlier, why in the f*** can you throw the completed one away? If the above is true, why couldn't Jove just hung around and stole anybody's Earth Pass? He obviously doesn't give a shit about anyone other than himself. Ah, the cat came back to life! I know cats have 9 lives, but does this mean they have 9 souls? If so, where the hell did those come from? And Cat Lady just happens to be there? This is some convenient magic nonsense, and I don't like it. Also, didn't we see this cat's soul go to the great beyond? Who's at the wheel now? This concert montage jazzes all over us for quite some time. An incredible amount of detail has gone into every set piece for this film. Every sign, flyer, and piece of trash has been accounted for. Accomplishing this, especially in a place like New York, is very impressive. Makes my job difficult, but respect. What happens to this piano? Shouldn't it disappear or something? Wait, does the piano have a soul? That being said, where did this boat come from? Where does anything come from in this bizarre, neither here nor there construct? Is this the Matrix?
Joe! Good heavens, man! What are you doing in the zone?
And how is he staying in it now that he's distracted?
I just came back to give you this.
How is Joe able to carry his Earth Pass with him back to the other side? Since it seems like matter here neither has rules nor needs to follow them, I see no reason why this should have stopped Terry. These beings can manifest into whatever they want in this place. That means this Jerry is choosing to be the pavilion, and that's just weird. In the name of all that is jazzy, how does any of this work? The inside of Joe's pocket and the Samara make it through to the great before, but the jacket the pocket belongs to doesn't?
You're pretty great at jazzing.
This works.
So we all decided to give you another chance.
This is nice and all, but it robs the movie of Joe's sacrifice. If he gets what he wants regardless, giving up the Earth Pass at 22 is so much less meaningful. Bring back the Disney that killed Bambi's mom and Mufasa, zero given. Also, the movie wants to have it both ways. A great ending where Joe accepts his fate, and where it gets to have its happy ending too. Wait, Love of Jazz, City of Stars? This movie is pretty much La La Land.
It's the Soul Fast Transit System!
Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. It's way too easy to forget to take care of your mental health. If you're feeling like you need to speak to someone, just need a mental health check-in, BetterHelp is an amazing online resource that allows you to do just that. Connect with a counselor in a safe and secure online environment. And no, this isn't self-help. This is a real connection with an actual human being. And you don't even have to put on outside pants to do it. Pajama bottoms or sweats are just fine with BetterHelp. I know it can be easier to receive counseling without the need to go into an unfamiliar environment. And it's not just structured appointments. You can send messages to your counselor anytime, check out information that's relevant to your needs, and book your next appointment all on the same page. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. Head to betterhelp.com/cinemasins to answer a few questions and get paired up with a counselor within 24 hours. Get a whole 10% off your first month by clicking that link. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/cinemasins.
2, 3, 4, stay on the beat.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go.
I remember one time my dad took me to this jazz club.
Jazz was born in a little flop house in New Orleans, and it just because people were crammed in there, they spoke 5 different languages, they couldn't talk to each other. The only way they could communicate was with jazz.
Okay, Bama, why don't you get on up there and show me what you got?
Well, I'm not prepared to do my thing right now.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it.
Wee. Isn't this exciting?
They say time is the fire in which we burn.
Yeah, you know, time's not really a thing here.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Oh, okay.
I said, do you think you'd die if you drank wee?
You know he missed a close but no cigar.
Sink.
I'm in the chair.
I want to go to there.
So, what happens next?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
I'm happy to accept this very special award I requested, but that I absolutely deserve.
Surprise, motherfucker.